A woman who was missing for 12 years was discovered in a shallow grave, in her brother-in-law's back garden. Natalia Doherty, 50, was found face down in a pile of rubbish. Her body had been scavenged by wild animals, with one of her arms missing. But when faced with the haunting image of his sister-in-law's pitiful burial, cold-hearted Daniel Doherty didn't bat an eyelid. Police in Luton review the cold case in tonight's 24 hours in police custody, but their search for a missing person quickly turns into a murder inquiry. There is a grieving family who haven't seen or heard from their mother for over 12 years now, so it's really important that we find out what has happened and put those pieces together for the family, whatever that may be, Detective Graham Macmillan explained. The prime suspect, her husband Gerald Doherty, is now dead after committing suicide. But police have a lead in the form of a second-hand confession from Gerald's brother Joe. Joe claims Gerald killed Natalia, cut up her body and wrapped the pieces in Tesco bags before dumping them in bins around Luton. They retrace Natalia's last known movements in the hope of discovering the whereabouts of her body. But when police call in on Daniel Doherty, the last person to see Natalia alive, they discover something unusual about his back garden. There's a great big earth mound and bits dug away. Simultaneous dawn raids are launched to arrest both brothers and stop them colluding before the police can question them. With both brothers refusing to cooperate, the police have no alternative but to release them both on bail. But Daniel is put up in a hotel while a specialist team is authorized to begin digging up his back garden. A police operation on this scale costs several £100,000, and if they find nothing during the dig, then it's case closed because they have no other leads. With the pressure on, a specialist team comb the back garden for clues, use dogs and even use a digger to lift a pile of old rubble. While sifting through the rubbish, they find what looks like a 2-inch piece of human bone hidden under a piece of carpet. They send the fragment off to analysis and it comes back confirmed that it is a bone from a human foot. The search is then handed over to a forensic archaeologist who scrapes through the mud on her hands and knees to discover more and more body parts. "It's an elbow. That's a finger," she says. And Detective Sergeant Graham Macmillan is happy with the discovery. "When the digger pulled back the rubble and then they saw a bone, my first reaction then was joy," he said. "But to see Natalia's skeleton face down, that was a shock to me. She's just been discarded, she's just been dumped and rubbish piled on top of her. Nobody deserves that, nobody," he added. With the discovery of human remains in his back garden, police decide to arrest Daniel as they have new and compelling evidence which could point to his direct involvement in Natalia's disappearance. Police also bring Gerald's other brother Joe back in for questioning over deliberately misleading them about Natalia's murder. Joe confesses, Jerry had a vicious temper. Jerry grabbed her by the throat with one hand, he choked her but he didn't mean to kill her, he says. "I didn't see him that much after he told me that. I seen him maybe 4 or 5 times after he told me this stuff because I was too busy. I've got 2 or 3 businesses going. I was a property developer and so my mind was fully full 100%. During Daniel's second police interview he refused to comment on the discovery of Natalia's body laying in his own back garden. He's then shown grisly pictures of Natalia's remains. Police officer Rachel Weeks says, "I'm going to show you some photos now. This is Natalia. What I can tell you, she's been thrown down there, face down. It's quite disrespectful. And she's not been covered by mud, she's had rubbish thrown on top of her. What I can also tell you, just about here, there's an animal tunnel, nest, possibly a badger or a fox, something that size. And they've actually taken some of her limbs. At the moment, part of her right arm's missing, so she'd just been left to be scavenged on by animals." In May 2016, over 13 years after she went missing, a funeral was finally held for Natalia. 4 days later, Joseph and Daniel were charged with perverting the course of justice, obstructing the coroner and preventing the lawful burial of Natalia. Daniel Doherty was formally cleared of all charges after the judge ordered the jury to find him not guilty. Joseph Doherty pleaded guilty to perverting the course of justice at trial. He was sentenced to 3 months in prison, suspended for 12 months due to his age and health. 24 Hours in Police Custody is on tonight at 9 p.m. on Channel 4.